All right, so AOC is going to be running in 2028, and she's also freezing her eggs. She's 36 years old, so this is going to be very interesting to watch. Ben Shapiro is going to break it down. She's going to be uh, posting some video about freezing her eggs. So this is definitely going to be a viral thing now. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Leave your comments. Follow me at Rafi the Realtor for all of your real estate needs in the greater South Florida area. And you can support the channel via the Buy Me a Coffee link in the pinned comment or description. Let's get into it.
Now, again, people do this privately. Why are you doing this in front of millions of people?
Maybe I should start an ASMR egg freezing channel. I think they banned those on YouTube.
So much fun.
Powder. So I'm basically dissolving this powder.
Wow, so much fun to live stream your medical procedures.
All right.
Yeah, well, she doesn't have to do this for medical reasons. She doesn't.
Don't be weird.
It's not being driven by infertility.
Even though I know all of you will be.
Don't be weird about this. You're being weird about this. Why are you talking to me? Why am I watching this? This is none of my business. Why are you doing this? You're being weird about this, lady. This is weird. Okay, you're being weird. You're live streaming medical procedures on Instagram. You're being weird. Are we allowed to say you're being weird? You're being weird. Okay, this is being weird. Okay, this is how she announces her presidential run. That's what she is doing. And then she suggested that this is all because of men, you see, because men run for office and people don't wonder if they want to. Well, number one, most men running for office, like higher office, means that there's a process of egg selection, business. You've got employees and benefits and contracts, and generally against IVF because of the inherent problem of creating human life with potential and then discarding it, which is what happens as a process of IVF. But again, I certainly understand and sympathize with the counter argument that without IVF, certain babies just won't be born. Again, two things can be true at once. I can be genuinely overjoyed a child exists who otherwise wouldn't exist, while simultaneously being saddened by the morally questionable methods used to bring a child into existence. It's entirely possible to wish that a specific decision had not been made while still being grateful for the results of that decision. That is a thing you can do. But I'm not totally Catholic on this sort of thing because, again, if a husband and a wife are struggling with infertility and choose to create, say, a single embryo to carry to term or implant all the embryos, I don't personally see a huge moral problem with that. But none of that is what's happening here. This is a perfectly optional procedure she is pursuing because she wants to pursue her presidential run. And she is doing this publicly because she is making a statement that has society-wide consequences. Biology itself is unfair. Seriously, the system that, as God created, the cosmic system itself, nature, is unfair. And that's why she is doing it publicly, because the personal is political. Now, that phrase, the personal is political, that was originally coined by this feminist named Carol Hanisch back in 1969. And her point was that your personal choices are inherently political. Abortion is personal, she says, but it's actually political. And there's truth to that, because the personal can remain personal when it's personal, but when it becomes a societal standard, it now becomes political. And the left has done this with every single supposed privacy issue, every single one.
Yeah, you know, I think it's important for us to normalize these conversations, especially in this political environment. The Trump administration has...
Remind us what the announcement was.
Yeah, sure. So I have decided to start the process of freezing my eggs. Yeah. And in this political environment where this administration is denying reproductive care to women across the country, from abortion rights to the ability to carry out a healthy pregnancy, I think it's important for us as leaders to have these conversations and share these processes, especially for working women across the country, and normalize them.
Okay, working women across the country cannot afford these processes. Now, again, that is going to be the next step, is going to be everyone should have this paid for by the government. That's where she's going to go with this. But pretending this is like a working class issue is not true. It is not true. Overwhelmingly, the people who have IDF are people who are at the upper end of the income spectrum. And more broadly, when you treat life as though it's an elective, flexible commodity, you end up with this sort of Frankenstein morality. Babies are a beautiful and normal part of life. Biology is a beautiful and normal part of life. When you decide that babies are a commodity to be created when convenient and that biology can be manipulated at will, that has some pretty significant societal consequences. This is a point that Ross Douthat, formerly of the New York Times, now moving over to CBS News, made when he had a discussion with a founder of a company called Orchid, which is about IVF, named Noor Siddiqui. Here he was discussing IVF.
A man and a woman make love, and by making love, they bring a new life into the world that they haven't sculpted or engineered in any way, that is given to them out of the self-giving from each other, that forms this profound connection between sex, the way you love your partner, and the family that you brought into being. And again, this, allowing that we're in a world where people have genetic disorders, and there are all kinds of reasons that people would consider other ways of having children, you're imagining a future where that just sort of goes away. And I'm wondering if you think anything would actually be lost if that goes away. If 90% of babies are born through IVF, and having sex and having a baby out of that becomes this weird thing that the Amish do, aren't you pushing some really intimate and important aspect of human experience out of human experience?
Okay, and she looks totally puzzled by this particular question. Totally puzzled. Because again, option. Okay, the biggest problem in our society is that we have adult men and women who are putting off the key choices in life. That is a major problem in our society. Marriage, having kids, we're putting it off. It's a real problem. Okay, but again, it isn't to the left, because the idea of the left for generations at this point has been to replace actual biology and actual consequences with presumptively at some point government interventionism, which again, this is where this is going to go. I promise this is going to go to, she's going to say, I can afford IVF, but you can't afford it. Everyone needs to be able to do IVF.
Well, I am not anti-IVF. There are people that do it, that need to do it. At the end of the day, these technologies, these medical breakthroughs are phenomenal. And in my view, everyone should be allowed to do things the way they want to. If they want to push off marriage, so be it. I don't think it's good for the collective. I don't think it's good overall for society, having a natural birth through sex. When I say natural, I don't mean non-epidural necessarily, but I mean in the sense where you're having sex and then having a child versus needing IVF is better for the collective. You understand what complete intimacy is. You're doing it through natural intimacy, physical sex and intimacy. And I also think that it's better for society as a whole, for more people than not, to have families when they're younger. That's what I think. Now, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Leave your comments. Follow me at Rafi the Realtor on the gram for all of your real estate needs in Miami and the greater South Florida area. And you can support my work by going to the Buy Me a Coffee link in the pinned comment or description. Until next time, peace.